Hello YouTube, Terrio Jenkins, and I told you guys before that my journals, my vlogs were going to be very informal, and here's a perfect example. I am driving to work, and I figured this is the only time where I can probably talk to you guys and not have background noises like children and stuff. So here we are. All right, so today is journal entry number 4. Yes, 4. And today we're going to be, the main topic today is setting design. And for those of you that don't know, today's date is July 27th, 2018. And I am rewriting, wow, that's really bright. I am rewriting my novel, Lust, which is part of my book series, Favor Aries. So let's get into it. Setting design. Setting design is another big piece of whatever story you're trying to tell in whatever media you're using. Setting comes, it's not just about the location, it's about context as well. So the context from my series, Favorite Aries, is now paranormal. The broad context is parapsychology. And why did I choose parapsychology? I chose parapsychology because it deals with ghosts, it deals with psychics, it has aura. Let's see what else. You have your psychic detectives, psychics. So that's why I chose parapsychology. There's organizations centered around parapsychology. It just seems like a really good context for my series to have, and it allows me to go into those different elements that make up parapsychology. You want a real example or fiction example. The context for Harry Potter is that he goes to a visiting school. So that's the context, and part of the context, part of the activities that goes on there are that there's obviously there's muggles, there's wizards, there's monsters, there's the teachers at the school, and that's where you get all your ideas from for the story. And setting is, some people will argue that setting is everything, and it's true. Setting is almost like having another character. You gotta build upon it, and you have to make it interesting. Another part of setting is knowing where your external and internal locations are going to be for your story. And for context, external and internal locations, it all goes back to what we talked about in day 2, which was research. You have to go out and research. So my story was going to take place in Willingboro, New Jersey, externally, and I like that idea because Willingboro is broken up into different parks. But I grew up in Bordertown. I work in Bordertown. It seems more natural for me to write about Bordertown, which is just as big, and because I am making it a fictionalized version for the story, I can now include a college, a university there, which I still haven't named. And I'm basing my university that I'm setting up in Bordertown off of Rutgers Camden, which was the original idea from when I wrote the books. from when I wrote Lust. And so I showed you guys in the research video that I printed out maps of Bordertown, a map of Rutgers Camden's campus. I also printed out facts about both. So now I have my external location. While I was at Barnes & Noble, I saw a book about ghost hunting in New Jersey. So I'm not going. My original intent was to limit the stories to just Bordertown, but I'm now going to use all of New Jersey. So New Jersey is my general location. Bordertown for Lust. Bordertown is the specific location, and the place is going to be the university where the crime takes place at. Now, when you're writing stories, sometimes you're going to have two settings that, when we're talking about context, you're going to have two settings. Like I'm writing a mystery, so the first setting is obviously law enforcement, and then the second setting is where the crime takes place. And right now, my crime takes place at a university, and my detectives, my main characters, are part of law enforcement. So it just gives you more ideas when you think about the context, external locations, and the specific locations and interior locations. So you just have to make sure that you go out and research, because you're going to have people from, like in my case, I might have people from Bordertown, and if I don't represent certain streets right, they're going to be like, hey, that's not real, and it turns them off. So you got to make sure you do your research for your setting, and you got to make sure that you know where your external locations are, your internal locations, like the inside of places, and your context of the series. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed that brief overlook of setting design updates. So I recently decided that my videos will go through what I want to talk about, and then I'll give you guys any updates, any news to share. And what's going on now is I am trying to get into the habit of writing every day for you guys. Rewriting Lust. I also have a fan fiction web series that I'm writing based off Avatar: The Last Airbender. I keep putting down Legend of Korra too, but I haven't really watched Legend of Korra. I've just been watching a lot of reviews on it. Eventually I'm going to tackle it. So I just wanted to mention it because I'm going to start having a link to my Avatar series, which is on my website, terrierjenkins.com. I'm also trying to get into the practice of doing a sketch. Earlier this year, I started a challenge with one of my friends where we're supposed to be doing a sketch a day, and usually I end up having to do tons of drawings near the end of the month to make up for the days that I missed. But I'm almost 2 months behind at this point. So I thought what I would do is, since I'm doing a production journal, that I would just focus on the art for the series. And part of this journey of rewriting Lust is also a journey into becoming more consistent as an artist. So I'm going to try to do more freehand drawing. I know that some of the artists that I've been watching have said that I should always use references, and I have a problem when I use references, especially if I use like comic book references and other art pieces. I tend to mimic that style, even though I try to draw in my own style. And it's easier for me to draw in my own style when I draw from real life references. But a lot of the poses that I'm looking for don't happen in real life. So so yeah, on my Patreon and on my DeviantArt page, I'm going to be putting up fan art of other media that I like to help me at least get into the practice of drawing every day. Then I'm also going to put up drawings of the characters from Favorite Aries. But for $5 on my Patreon, you'll get the concept art for the series. And by concept art, I'm talking about the actual art that's going to go into the book. You also get the concept art to any posters that I make. And if you support me on Patreon for $5, you get the posters, or you get you get the posters or any other form of art that I do, not like my t-shirts and stuff, for $5. So you're basically getting it for free with your continued support. If you support me on Patreon for $10, then you get the free t-shirt. And I'm going to start including the links to both my storefronts. I have a storefront on TeePublic that's more affordable for people. The t-shirts are nice. The other like home decor stuff, like my mugs, notebooks. I also have cases on there. They look pretty nice. The only problem that I have with the site is that it's a basic t-shirt making site. So on the shirt there's a square picture of whatever art I put on there, and there's nothing wrong with that. I see a lot of stores like Hot Topic, they sell shirts like that, so it's cool, and like I say, it's affordable. But I also have my Rage On storefront, which has what I'm calling my premium apparel, home decor, and cases site. And there I can make the art be on the whole shirt, and there's shoes, there's onesies, so you should check that out. I'm going to have two apparel lines. I'm going to have the concept line where as soon as I'm done doing the concept piece, I load it up there, and then there's also going to be the final line. I'm going to call it the finish line, and those will be based off the art from the concept line, but more refined, definitely more finished type of, more polished type of look. So I'm going to start including those in the description below. Oh, there goes that bird. For the last couple videos, I was trying to remember where I'm supposed to use. Yeah, description. So I'm going to have the link to my two storefronts in my description below, along with the books that I'm using to help me rewrite my book series. Because for me, these books really helped motivated me to finish writing the books. And for those of you that don't know, I have two written books for Favorite Aries. Book 2 I wrote before book 1, because book 1 was intended to be a prequel, and then I decided to make that the first book of the series. Long story. I think that's it. I'm getting more followers on the blog. I appreciate everybody that's following me and liking the stuff that they see. So I guess I'm doing the right thing. I'm heading in the right direction. Patreon, I didn't think anybody was really going to my Patreon pages, but I see that you guys are at least visiting. And as much as I would love for everybody to do at least the $1 a month deal, I just like the fact that you guys are taking time out to go to my Patreon, to go to my Facebook pages, my Twitter. Don't have anybody on Google Plus, but that's more because I have to really network a little more, which is why I joined Google Plus. And I haven't really been checking out the Tumblr stats, but for those of you who are following me on Tumblr, I thank you too, because if you're following me on Tumblr, you're most likely heading towards the website, and from the website, you're most likely going to my Patreon page. But however you get into any of my pages, I really appreciate it. And like I say, if you support me for $1, $5, $10, I even have a $20 tier on Patreon, that will be greatly appreciated, because it allows me more freedom to create content for the website, to create content for Patreon without having to worry about my bills. Because ultimately my goal in life is, I would love to do this full time, and I can't do it full time unless I get hired by Marvel, or if I get hired by a publishing company, and it's really hard to do. And I believe in you guys, and I think you guys believe in me, because you guys keep coming back to the page. I have noticed that a lot of my WordPress followers of the blog are pretty consistent. So again, from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate it. And I heard the other day that I should be doing this because I like doing it, because a writer's going to write, an artist is going to draw. And I was one of those people that did kind of make fun of people that went after their dreams, even if they weren't good at it. But at the same time, I was also very inspired by how brave people are like that. And so even though I know my art, to me, isn't good, because I have a friend who thinks my art's amazing. And although I don't think, like, personally, I know I'm always going to be my worst critic. And at the end of the day, though, writing my book series, drawing my book series, doing everything on my own really does make me happy. And I am finally in the mindset of, I'm doing this for myself, but I'm putting it out there because I want to share what I'm doing, and for you guys to all support me and come into my pages, however you come to them, really does mean a lot to me. And like I said, I feel like I'm definitely heading into the right direction, and I love you guys. So thank you for your support. I want to say a special thanks to Adam Withers and Comfort Love. Your book really inspired me. Victoria Lynn Smith, your books have inspired me. If it wasn't for Book in a Month, I probably wouldn't have finished Lust in the first place. The outline really kept me. Blake Snyder, rest in peace. Your book, Save the Cat, motivated me to really get back into rewriting Lust. So, Keenan Lafferty, your YouTube channel, I watch every time you put up an update since last year. You made me want to get back into drawing and painting. Ross from Ross Draws, you also inspired me to work on my coloring when it comes to painting. So yeah, I just wanted to say a special shout out to those guys. I'm going to have links to their YouTube channels and their Deviant Arts in the description below. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. I have links to all my sites where you can follow me at, my Twitter, my Google+. If you're reading this, my YouTube. And what am I forgetting? Facebook, Twitter, there you go. Follow me on my website too, terriojenkins.com. I have some, I'm writing, like I said earlier, I'm writing my Avatar story on there. I also have other content for my other book series on there. Support me on Patreon at patreon.com, terriojenkins. The link for that is also below. Like I said, I'm going to have the links to my storefront below in the description. And remember to be terrific. See you guys later.